911. That's me! I'm gone!
Gobble, gobble, you spooky bitches. We're back for Thanksgiving. Well, it's past Thanksgiving. We're recording this. Thanksgiving's tomorrow. But by the time you hear this, it will have already happened, and you have already turned those meals into poops.
Yep.
That happens immediately for me. Like, food comes in, poop comes out. So, I mean, those poops have come and gone a long time ago.
Yeah, man, it's pretty quick for me, too. Like, I'm pretty regular.
Now, see, when it comes to Thanksgiving, I do the nap, then the poop. I got to percolate it, but I get all sleepy and drowsy.
Nap and then crap. And then
nap and crap.
Yeah, a nap and crap. The old Thanksgiving nap and crap. You know, you get the stuffing, you give the stuffing. You know what I'm saying?
The old one too.
Give it the old one too.
Give it the old college try. You know what I'm saying?
The old nap and crap.
Yeah, so we're all gearing up for Thanksgiving. Our movie today is a Thanksgiving Halloween movie or Halloween horror movie.
Thanksgiving Halloween movie.
Thanksgiving Halloween movie.
Christmas, Valentine's Day leprechaun.
What you do is you get a pumpkin and then you carve it into the shape of a turkey.
And then you fuck it.
I was gonna do that, but my squirrels ate that pumpkin that was on my front porch. They've currently hollowed out a hole, and now they're just like emptying it out from the inside out.
Bunch of horse squirrels.
Yeah, it definitely looked rough last time I was over. Like the face was all like collapsed in, and like half the cheek and eyeball.
Oh yeah, that was the carved one. No, this is one that was uncarved on my front porch, like a fucking whole pumpkin. Now it's like hollowed out and there's holes in it.
I did that specifically to make you look bad. You should get a gun and shoot all the damn squirrels. Get your revenge against the squirrel population.
They were looking like, fuck this bitch's pumpkin. Let's fuck this shit up.
That's exactly what happened.
They did.
They made you look Bush League, Kelly, and you just allowed
Bush League.
That shit's Bush.
This bitch ain't no go hard.
You ain't know you're go soft.
I'm not a
go hard.
Anyway,
we're not getting those tattoos now.
That's happening.
Marks.
We were at a random bar. We were at a hip hop festival in Columbus. And we stopped at this really weird local bar.
Always.
Where they were listening to country music and described it as picking and a grinning. And this guy like randomly looks over at Kelly and I, and he's just like, "You guys are go hards, aren't you?" I know the type. That's been the running joke that we're go hards, but Kelly's like mellowed out now, so she's a go soft.
Yeah, you know. You gotta at some point. I broke my finger. Yeah, you gotta mellow out.
Team go hard.
How did you just gloss that over? How did you break your fucking finger?
I mean, that has something to do with not going as hard anymore.
When did you break your finger?
I don't know, about a year ago.
What?
A year ago? Yeah, I just did it a year ago.
I talk to you almost every day. How have I not known about this?
I'm sure I've told you.
Then why am I so shocked?
Anyway, I don't make a big deal about it.
You just held up the most crooked ass fucked up finger.
Revenge of the broken finger.
What the fuck is going on? This is like the most unhinged I've ever heard the podcast start off as. I love it. Don't get me wrong. But what the fuck?
That's true. We should get back on track.
That's why
were we ever on track to begin with?
No, this has been a train wreck for every episode, and that's why it's charming.
I'm not here to impress you, Peapod. All right? This is
fair.
Me.
This is fair.
How I roll. Go hard.
Go hard.
So yeah, by the time you hear this, Thanksgiving will have been done. RPW's Death Right will have been in the books. That's coming up in like a couple days for me. Yeah.
Yep.
So we're gonna talk.
For you, the rest of us are gonna be stuck back here like a week ago, right?
Yeah, that's true.
For you,
I'm sure Kelly will be at the show.
Progressive time.
Yeah, I'll be there.
The rest
I'll be
of us
there.
are stuck in this waxwork.
Does that mean that you're hanging out with? Oh no, I'm thinking wax music. No, House of Wax. House of Wax is what I was thinking. Waxwork's a much better film.
I love waxwork.
Yeah.
Me too. So what's new, guys? What have you been watching? Why don't you go first, Rip?
Yeah.
What?
Who?
You, Rip.
Oh,
Yeah.
me.
Ah, yes.
T Ripper. The T stands for the, but you already knew that.
I do now.
Well, the first movie that I'd like to talk about that I recently watched was a little nut job of a movie called Cameron's Closet. I thought it was going to be some like sort of queer exploitation, almost like gay guilt thing with a name like Cameron's Closet. Came out in 1988, and it was just sort of like all over the place. There's psychokinetic powers, there's possession, there's a demon, there is some weird dreamscape. There was so much going on. I would have called it a convoluted story, but it's hard to even go that far because it was so enjoyable to watch, though at the same time. It's like a train wreck that was fun and like different.
Cameron's Closet, you said?
Yeah, it's on Tubi.
That's a lot to fit in a closet.
I watched at least was Tubi. But yeah, I was just looking for something sort of like out of the ordinary.
Mm-hmm.
And, it jumped out at me because it's, an hour and 28 minutes. So, I mean, you can't go wrong. 90 minutes or less, I'm in. I'm in.
Yeah, if it's like a 90 or less, I'll give a movies a shot, even if I'm not like 100% into it, because it's like it'll be done soon.
Right.
Yeah, for sure. I've never been one of those people like, is it worth watching? If you're interested in it, they're all worth watching, whether it's good or bad, man. You know?
But I mean, if it's long and it's good, you can sit through it. If it's short and it's bad, it's even like that's even worse. If it's if it was like a 68-minute movie and you're checking your watch, like, oh my God, is this thing over yet? But that wasn't the case with Cameron's Closet, and I just loved how weird it was. It definitely was very 80s because they tried to like just smash as much as they could in there. This kid is telekinetic. I know I'm repeating myself. Whatever. I don't give a fuck. But a demon can live inside of him. Like he can only bring the demon to life because he's psychokinetic, and his father kind of like pushed him towards that with this other scientist, and now they've released this demon, but they can't put him back. And it's hard to describe, but I definitely enjoyed the ride. It was a good time indeed.
And what does that have to do with the closet?
Oh, because when they first discovered the demon, it can only live in one place. And it lives
in Cameron's closet.
Little Cameron keeps the demon in his closet. He doesn't like the demon, don't get me wrong, but it lives in his closet, So like, yeah, anybody who goes looking for something, if they're mean to him or they go in his closet, if they try to stop the demon, if they try to stop Cameron, they get dealt with real quick by the demon living in Cameron's closet.
You guys are so in unison on that. That was fucking great.
In stereo with Kelli and Germ.
How what star rating do you give it?
I'm giving it a hard 3.
Okay.
It was fun. It was entertaining. It held my attention at the same time. It's just not that much better than a 3. It's a hard 3.
All right.
Kelly, what you got?
The first movie that I watched this week is from 1977. This is Audrey Rose.
Oh shit, I love Audrey Rose.
Yeah, it was all right. A lot of the reviews that I read were like kept comparing it to like The Omen and what was The Exorcist, which I seen more Omen vibes than Exorcist. Like they were saying this is this is to reincarnation as, The Exorcist is to demonic possession, which I didn't see it to. Yeah, I guess so. This one basically, it's a couple there with a small child. Oh, she's about 11. They live in New York City, and there's like this creepy old guy just kind of like stalking them and shit. And it's Anthony Hopkins plays the old guy, and
Okay.
He's real fucking weird about it. Like, they start getting all creeped out and shit. He's like in their house, and he believes that the kid is a reincarnation of his daughter Audrey Rose, who died in some fiery car accident like the same day that this kid was born. And like the whole thing kind of goes into this guy trying to coax the family of this, and he does some weird shit. It goes into like a whole court case at another thing, which I thought was weird. Like this court case would never fly in like a real court. You'll see why after you watch the movie. I'm not going to go into detail on that, but yeah, Anthony Hopkins is weird. The trial's weird, but the ending was fucking sweet. Actually, I really enjoyed the ending, and it kind of brings the whole movie together.
It's a court horror movie.
It's a court horror reincarnation movie. Yes.
Once again, it's got a lot going on.
It does got a lot going on, but I mean, it's all right. I'd give it a 3.
You're goddamn right. I've ordered the possession.
I mean, if I were to compare it to The Omen or The Exorcist, it's like nowhere near. I love The Omen, but I mean, this was all right. I think the girl that played Ivy, the little girl, the main girl of the movie, I think she was insanely annoying. Because she'd like have these dreams and shit, and she'd just start screaming and be like a tornado in the house and knocking shit over. She was just really annoying. I don't know what it was about that actress, just in general. It just annoyed me. But other than that, it's not a bad movie. It's worth a watch. I'm surprised
Sir Anthony Hopkins. I mean,
yeah,
with that.
Absolutely. Yeah, and he's younger in it. This is definitely pre Silence of the Lambs.
Would it be around the time Magic came out?
I think it might be. This is 1977. I don't.
Kelly's never seen Magic.
Oh, okay.
I know what you're talking about, though. I worked at a video store for a while, and like I can pick. There's so many movies that I haven't seen that I can just like envision the covers to.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
For some reason, the trailer for Magic really fucked me up when I was a kid, and I don't know why. It was just like the mannequin head, and like it delivers a couple lines, and then it starts like looking off to the left of the screen, and it's for some reason it was really fucking unsettling. Yeah. So like I was kind of drawn into seeing it early, and that definitely isn't a good one to watch young.
Now I want to watch that. I'm about to write that one down.
I watched that and Pin back to back, and boy, was that a fucking night.
Yeah, I don't think I'd ever go into a department store ever again.
No shit.
They're close enough to ventriloquist dummies and medical. What would you consider Pin? Like a medical dummy? A medical?
Well, yeah, like a animatronic, anatomical, like medical, like what they would teach medical students.
Yeah,
because it's like clear, but you can see all the guts and shit.
Yes.
The Pin was a good movie, man. That one's hard to find, but if you guys haven't seen Pin, check out fucking Pin.
That is one that needs a collector's edition Blu-ray release, or at least put on some sort of streaming device, because I don't think it's available literally anywhere. I just remember seeing it when I was much, much younger.
That seems like the kind of movie that Scream Factory would just jump all over.
Yeah. I'm sure there has to be some reason why they haven't.
It's probably a rights thing. Like I listen to the Vinegar Syndrome podcast sometimes, and like they'll go into like, man, we really always wanted this movie, but the fucking rights to it are impossible. Or, like the person who owns it is dead and a family member now owns the rights and they don't give a shit about doing anything with it, that kind of thing. So, it could be a million things. Or, and I doubt that this is the case with Pin, because I don't remember it having like a, if I remember correctly, it was more of an orchestral soundtrack, but a lot of times it's music rights in these things too.
Right.
Because you got to relicense the music.
Right.
That kind of shit.
That's the issue with the made-for-TV movie Midnight Hour, is that's why it can't get re-released, because the rights to the music are just all over the place. That's one that I'd love to see released somewhere. You can watch it on YouTube, and it's totally cheesy.
We should link it in our find it and link it in our on our page.
Yeah.
YouTube. Yeah.
All right, my first one. I had never seen this before, and it popped up on Tubi right after I got done watching Blood Rage, which was Blood Harvest, and I'd always been curious about this movie because it has a really fucking crazy cover of like this crazy looking clown. And I had no idea when I started this fucking thing that clown was played by Tiny Tim, which made it even fucking creepier. If you guys don't know, I know Kelli and Germ know who Tiny Tim is, but if the listeners, if you don't know who Tiny Tim is, they use some of his music in Insidious. He's like a really creepy, I don't even know how to describe it. Like, I wouldn't say creepy, but like unsettling guy with like a ukulele, and he has a really strange voice. So he's a clown in this fucking thing. This movie was really all over the place. It definitely thought it was a lot more clever than it was. Like that, like none of the red herrings they tried to set up worked at all. You knew, like basically, it's a woman being stalked by a killer who has like pantyhose over his head with a knife, and like he's like collecting her friends, hangs them upside down like a deer, and slices their throat in a barn. Right. Meanwhile, there's also a clown running around. It's Tiny Tim. He's being real fucking weird, and no, it doesn't seem to bother anyone.
Right. That's the weirdest part, is that nobody is upset by how horribly weird. I think his name is Mervo.
Like
Mervo the clown.
Yeah.
Marvelous Merlot, or it's something with an M.
It's something with an M. Because I recently used the name again in a short story I wrote. But yeah.
Mervo. Marvelous Mervo.
Yeah. Mervo. That's the weirdest part to me, is that nobody is upset about this bizarre clown with it running around just being weird.
Well, like, not only that, like, people will come home to their home and open the door, and out this crazy clown pops out, and they're like, "Oh, Mervo,
Mervo, you're such a
I'd be like, why the fuck are you in my house? Even if I know you, like, bro, why are you in my house? You weird clown painted ukulele playing some bitch."
Yeah. Oh, Mervo.
Oh,
oh, there goes Mervo.
You're the living end.
The tone of this thing is all over the place. The acting's real bad. So if that doesn't bother you, I mean, it's bad. Like the girl that got to star in this thing, I guarantee you they were like, "Can you act?" And she's like, "Absolutely not." And they were like, "Well, will you be naked 3/4 this movie?" And she's like, "Word." She's like, "Are you cool with any male in this movie sucking on your tits and play with them?" Yeah, why not? That's most of the movie. This girl is just naked, and the way they do it seems really fucking awkward. Like, they'll set up like they're gonna have a sex scene, and then like a phone call will happen, and it's like, okay, well, we just had that scene, so she take her top off, and now we're back to exposition. The other thing that I got a big laugh out of, so this woman has like the most girly bedroom known to man. Everything's pink and frilly, and there's like teddy bears, and like the kind of stuff you'd see in a teenage girl's bedroom. You know what I'm saying? But above her bed is a framed poster from the Arnold Schwarzenegger movie Commando.
Yeah. It's like, what? Okay.
And I'm so confused. Like, and I don't know if you could like picture what that cover looks like, but it's literally Arnold Schwarzenegger in like camouflage face paint and a bulletproof vest with a gun.
Yeah.
And this is just in this girl's pink frilly bedroom right above her bed, which means to me, she's most likely flicking that bean to the Austrian giant right above her. You know what I'm saying?
That's the sound. Not that I've ever heard a female masturbate in front of me, but I assume it's something like.
Yes, that's exactly how it sounds.
Yeah. It's like when a cat plays with one of those door stoppers.
And I love Blood Harvest simply for the imagery of Tiny Tim in clown makeup. I don't care about anything else about the movie. I love clowns, and I just love Tiny Tim in clown makeup. It
was absurdly upsetting. And he wasn't. There's something just unsettling about Tiny Tim to me. And then you combo it up with this clown makeup and him doing the songs, the ukulele. And he's in like this like baby blue suit that's covered in balloons. It's a really fucking strange movie. It's a slasher for the most part. It's not very deep. It thinks it is. It tries to throw all these red herrings at you, but they made it completely obvious who the killer is going to be the whole time by a certain character's fucking behavior. And you're like, yeah, that's the guy. It's fucking him. That's the guy. Him, not him. Him. That's the guy. You know, like it's so blatantly obvious. But it was super gory. It was a lot of fun. I had a good time with it. You know, just go in knowing it's super low budget. The acting's horrible, but it's got some good gore. It's borderline softcore pornography. Tiny Tim in clown is something that's going to haunt my nightmares prior to the day I die. I would give this like a solid 3. I'll probably watch it again. I liked it.
3s across the board for the first round.
All right.
Tidal wave of 3s.
Tidal waves. Woo. Okay, everybody, we're gonna do this. A wave of 3s. Woo. We did it.
Oh, you went the wrong direction, Kelly.
Oh shit.
She's the wave after it hits the dock and goes back out.
Oh my goodness gracious gravy. I think we're gonna go crazy. Anyways, the next movie I watched was called Kristy. And I loved it because
it's so good.
Yeah.
I feel like I almost watched that or did watch that.
Kelly, you have watched it. You watched it. We watched it together. Like back when we used to live together.
Okay, go on.
I was thoroughly impressed, you know, because when you say Thanksgiving horror movie, the first thing that comes to mind for me before I saw Blood Rage was Thanksgiving, which is fun. It's campy and gory and silly. It's got the one-liners. But I mean, that's kind of the vibe you think of when you think of Thanksgiving-themed horror films. And that wasn't the case with Kristy, which I enjoyed from minute one. I'm like, oh, they're taking this seriously. They're making cinema here. You know what I mean? Or at least they're trying to, and they're going for it. You know, girl stays behind. She can't afford to go be with her family. She's a working class girl. She's stuck at college by herself. And of course, there's a cult out to kill girls with the name Kristy. Because
didn't it have something to do with didn't she have to be a Christian too? Like yes. They were killing Christian women.
Okay.
It's just the name Kristy was supposed to be like Christ-like, and they were supposed to be like pure because they're named Kristy. And of course, through the twists and turns and stuff, we find out that this might not be the person they're after anyway, but they keep going after her. But it was just so well done. Cinematography was beautiful. The pacing was great. I love the story arc. And then just like it came across as more of like that 90s almost self-aware film, like I Know What You Did Last Summer or Scream, just because of the setting, you know, a college campus and you know, slasher angle, but it was really great and refreshing to see a Thanksgiving themed horror film that wasn't campy, that wasn't just made to be silly. It was actually like, if I saw that somebody was selling this on Blu-ray, I would buy a physical copy of it and just be like, everybody, we got to watch this every Thanksgiving because it's so actually good.
Hell yeah.
You want to hear a crazy fun fact about that movie that's going to blow your fucking mind?
Yes, please do.
That was a made-for-TV Hallmark movie.
No. Oh, no shit. Where did you watch it? What did you watch it on?
It was a made-for-TV Hallmark.
I'm not sure it was made for TV, but it debuted and it was owned by the Hallmark Channel. The first time it was ever shown was on the Hallmark Channel.
That's crazy.
That was the premiere of it.
It is rough. It's kind of rough in spots.
And what's crazy is the U.S. version is actually the cut version. The overseas version is even crazier.
I would believe that. That's usually the case, right?
Mm-hmm.
It depends on where it's at, because like especially like in England, they get real fucking weird about splatter flicks.
Yeah.
Where did you watch this at?
Tubi, I believe.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
I'm pretty sure it was Tubi. Because I'd heard about it last holiday season, and I put it in my list of Thanksgiving horror movies on Letterboxd, but I had never actually watched it. So I figured, 'tis the season. Why don't I check this out? And I definitely give it 4 stars because it was definitely highly recommendable.
I don't remember it that much. I'm gonna have to rewatch.
You liked it. It was we watched it. It was part of when we got snowed in that blizzard.
But
there was a lot of drinking going on that
lots of drinking and lots of movies.
There was a huge snowstorm, and we ended up getting
shit,
sealed into our house for almost a week.
And we had like a gallon of rum.
Yeah. That's probably why you might not remember it, but I've also watched it since.
I just like the whole cult dark web angle and everything about it.
That's also a thing I thought was cool about it, because at the time this came out, like there wasn't any of those dark web,
right?
Those kinds. It felt like a little ahead of its time,
Yeah, definitely.
Oh yeah,
and it's definitely
like a little behind and a little ahead. It was 2014, so it was like it had a lot of components that just were different for its time, and I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Yeah, I like this one too. I give this one 4.
Nice.
Oh yeah.
What do you give it, Rip?
4 on the floor.
All right, what you got, Kelly?
All right, the next one I watched is an A24 movie that I've tried watching this before when it first came out, but I think I fell asleep or something and just never gave it another chance. This one is 2019 Saint Maud. I watched it on Prime. It's on Epix, Prime, Paramount Plus. This one was pretty good, dude. I actually liked this one a lot. It's got a slow start, but it's fucking great build up. The end's fucking killer. It's about this. She's like a super religious nurse, and she's definitely like devoted. She's kind of a recluse. She's suffering from some sort of PTSD, which they don't get into right away, like what happened to her. And she's like suffering from some crazy. She's super obsessive about God, and like when I say she's devoted, like she's that type of devotion where she like hurts herself and shit if she's not being like there's one part where she puts these like spikes in her shoes, like takes thumbtacks and just makes like soles for her shoes and walks around like that. But anyway, she's appointed to look after this woman Amanda, who used to be a dancer, and she thinks that God sent her there to save this woman's soul, and she gets like insanely obsessed with it. Without going into too much, she kind of like this movie kind of like you're questioning like, all right, is she actually like fucking crazy, or is there actually something going on here, because her like delusions and shit seem really real, and they make it seem real to the viewer at the same time. I really enjoyed this movie. I'd give this one a 4. Saint Maud. It's got a slow start, 3.5, 4, but slow start, but the payoff at the end's great.
Yeah, I remember when it first came to streaming, friends who had seen it either in the theater or previous to me watching it, they had a lot of negative things to say about it. But when I watched it, I loved it. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Yeah, like you said, slow start, great build, great story, and the payoff is great. It's just so smart and so well done.
It is.
It's art, it's cinema, it's art, and some people just aren't ready. But at the same time, it's gonna fuck with your head because
and it is one of those that I found myself thinking about later, like after I watched it. I was like, oh goddamn, like it's a good fucking movie. There's even some like good scary parts. I'm not gonna get into it, but yeah, check that out. Check it out. I would definitely recommend Saint Maud.
I didn't realize that was even a horror movie. I always saw the poster for it. I thought it was a movie about a nun.
Oh no, it's like
It's about a nun, but it's definitely a horror movie.
it's
Yeah.
it's rough too.
Yeah.
That is literally a rough one.
It is a rough one. It is a rough one. Like she's fucking devoted as shit, and she's really thinks she's sent there to, like she's believe like it's good. It's good.
Yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed it. I would give it, 4.5, maybe even.
Yeah, 4 for sure.
Yeah, if you haven't seen it yet, definitely watch it.
Mm-hmm. And it's on a few.
I'll check it.
Don't expect like a white knuckle ride of excitement and
No, definitely not. It is a slow build, but good payoff.
Sip your tea, eat your crackers, and enjoy the cinema.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'll definitely check it out. I mean, most A24 horror lands with me.
Yeah.
I like most of it. So, I mean, there's been a couple that I was just like, I think Lamb is an A24 one that just didn't.
I didn't watch that one yet. I almost did the other day, but
it's so incredibly boring. I wanted to like it so bad.
Yeah,
but Lamb is so incredibly boring that I couldn't. It was just like, yeah, I could barely give it that one. Lamb, barely give it like a 2.5, just because it's so boring. And
I mean, it was like it was filmed well and acted. I mean, there was nothing wrong with the film aside from it's fucking boring.
yeah, I think that's why I turned it off. Like I did turn it on one day and I was like, I just can't get into this right now. And I just like shut it off. But
yeah, that's one of the few A24 movies that I don't think I cared for.
And you know what? I don't mind like a slow burn horror movie or anything like that. Like I'll get in and I'll go for the ride, like Speak No Evil was one I saw earlier in this year that was a hell of a slow burn, and boy, did that one punch you in the fucking teeth at the end of it.
Mm-hmm.
But so I don't mind a good slow burn as long as that ending has a good payoff. And Lamb just kind of meandered to me,
Right.
Saint Maud does. Saint Maud does have a good payoff.
Yeah. So if you haven't seen it, watch it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
All right, for my next one, this one I revisited recently, but it's like a longtime favorite of mine, and I feel like it's like sadly overlooked, and that's Hills Run Red. Trying to look up the year of this. 2009. If you guys, I know you guys remember, but if the listeners, the now disgraced wrestler G Raver, the mask he wears was taken from this movie.
Oh.
And what you have is, and this is going to sound like something you've seen before, like, but this one kind of did it before, like movies like Antrim and stuff like that, cigarette burns.
Antrim was cool.
I love
it. Yeah, I liked Antrim.
Yeah.
But basically, there's like this cinema junkie. He's like one of us, a horror movie junkie. And there's like this lost horror movie he thinks is like this holy grail, and the only thing that exists of it anymore is a trailer. And apparently there was like a viewing of it. People lost their fucking minds seeing this thing. It was supposed to be so violent and fucked up. So he kind of goes like, he gets his buddies together and he's like, I'm going to make a documentary. And I know this sounds like it's going to be found footage, but it's actually not. Like they're filming a documentary, but it's not shot found footage wise. It's an actual real movie. But he decides that like he's going to track down the people that made this movie, and he needs to see this movie. He's going to check this thing out. So as he starts uncovering it and like getting closer and closer, there's a masked killer gets involved. It's known as Babyface, that wears the mask that G Raver used to wear. It's creepy as fucking shit. It's got a little bit of some Texas Chainsaw going on in it. William Sattler's in it, and he's fucking awesome in this thing. It's not like anything you've ever seen this dude do. It's really it's extremely violent. Acting's not so great, but it's not bad enough to where it takes you out of the film. But it's a really fucked up movie, and it's I genuinely love it and think it's hella overlooked. And I have a tendency to watch it like at least once a year, just revisiting it, just because it's such a solid watch. Like it's a 2009 movie, but it feels like almost has like and not an appearance, but like the feel of it and like how it's filmed and all that it has like a early grindhouse kind of vibe to it. Like it feels like dangerous filmmaking. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I love that. So I've never seen this. I've never seen The Hills Run Red, and I've always heard good things about it. I don't know why I've never watched it, but now upon you praising it, I think I have to.
Well, the thing about it is, I think it's just kind of hard to find. Like, you could pay for to watch it on Amazon, but I don't think it's ever been streaming for free anywhere.
The Hills Run Red, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
The cover they put out on the DVD and Blu-ray is real bad. It makes it look real cheap.
It didn't look interesting at all. You know, it looked very typical, no budget, low budget for the time. And like the babyface mask you said, I remember I bought that same mask when it was available at Spirit Halloween. And I I made up my own character. I was little baby Kill. I wore a diaper and that mask and a bunch of fake blood. It was a sight to see.
Little baby Kill.
I think the mask itself is really cool looking. Like
yeah.
It definitely has its own vibe. And what they do with Babyface is really interesting. It's like not anything I've ever really seen done with a mask killer before. Like there's a specific scene, like I don't want to ruin it, but there's a specific scene where a turn happens with him and you're just like, holy shit. And like it's kind of a gut punch because like you almost view him like a Leatherface or somebody like that, where he's like a simpleton killing machine. And then at one point you realize that's not really the fucking case. And he's a lot more deranged than you think. But also William Sattler, who plays the director of the Lost movie, he is completely fucking unhinged in this thing. And it's like nothing I've ever really seen. I can't even really think off the top of my head any other horror movies I can remember him being.
William Sattler? Wasn't he in fucking Demon Knight?
Demon
Knight, yeah.
Wasn't he
Demon
in
Knight.
Star Trek?
Yeah.
What's that?
William Shatner?
Sattler. Yeah, he was in Demon Knight. He was the guy with the Jesus.
Not Shatner.
I know. JK.
I think this baby face is chasing us through the woods. And I'm going to be
the red shirts
high as a kite for this.
Gonna be, yeah, that was great. Rocket Man.
Yeah, if you the listeners have never seen William Shatner's
Shatner. Jesus.
We're all shouting over here.
William Shatner's rendition of Rocket Man. Look that up on YouTube immediately. You'll be in.
Yeah, because the video is just as good as the. He doesn't he hit a cigarette or something.
Thanks,
Rocket Man.
Yeah, he's smoking a cigarette the whole time, and I'm gonna be high
as a kite by then.
Yeah, it's fucking fantastic. Definitely check that out.
It's so good.
But I'm gonna give this one now. This one's a sweet spot in my heart, so I'm going to give this thing a 4.5. Like, I really fucking love this movie. It definitely is highly overlooked, but I think it might get a little bit of a resurgence now because there's that online game where you can download all these different killers, and they just added Babyface. What was it? Dead by Dawn or something like that? I don't remember what the fuck it's called. But yeah, so they just added Babyface to it. But Hills Run Red, definitely fucking check it out. Awesome movie.
Sweet.
Yep.
Yeah. Have to find a physical copy if it's not streaming anywhere. And I remember when it came out, the like you said, the poster or the art on the cover did not look interesting.
It just looks cheap.
You know? Yeah. Yeah.
It doesn't.
It doesn't grab your attention. You're just like, man, it looks like something you'd see in just like one of those 12 horror movies for $2, you know?
Or like when there was that like slasher boom and it was just like a bad Photoshop cover. Like the cover almost looks like there was like this old movie called Dark Ride that came out around the same time. and it had the ginger kid from the Sandlot in it, and it was like a really bad horror movie, but it had like a similar baby face on the cover, and it looked really fucking similar.
Okay.
And it's just bad
That
cover
sounds
work.
familiar too. Joyride?
No, Dark Ride. Don't
Oh,
watch
I'm
it.
like, I've
It's real
seen
bad.
Joyride. I'm like, wait.
It was one of those. Remember when I forget what company it was, but they were doing those 9. They would do it every year, like 9 films to keep you awake at night or
Oh
whatever.
yeah, the eight movies after dark or something
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
and they would always
Yeah.
have like one of those slip covers over the movies, like
Yeah.
oh, it was part of that series, and a lot of those sucked. There was some really good ones that
There
stood
were
out,
some
but
good
most
ones.
of those sucked.
Yeah, yeah.
I think that's the first time I've seen like Frontiers was in one of
No,
those.
Frontiers was a different one. That was Dimension Extreme.
Ah,
And
okay,
those
okay.
ones were good because they were bringing in most of it was from the French horror boom, like stuff that like High Tension,
Yeah.
Inside.
High Tension
Uh,
was real good.
yeah, but like there was and Martyr. I mean, Martyrs wasn't one of them, but Martyrs was part of that boom. But there was like this boom of like these really well made French extreme splatter flicks,
Yeah.
and it was part of one of those.
The
Gotcha.
French extreme movement.
You're
I
up,
think
Rip.
another thing that turned me off for The Hills Run Red is that the name alone, is too similar to The Hills Have Eyes.
Yeah.
I think that remake came out around the same time. I'm
Well,
pretty sure.
the name itself makes sense in the context of how it is because it's the name of the movie he's trying to unearth, which would have been in the context of the movie. It came out in the movie was made in 79.
Okay.
So that would be the name of a type of movie that came out around then.
Right. Cool. No, I'll have to track it down.
Definitely. I mean, that's and you know what? Actually, you can usually get really cheap copies of it on like Amazon and eBay and stuff. You buy a physical copy used.
Cool.
I think mine was like $4 shipped.
Nice.
So, what you got, bud?
Oh, we're doing another round of this, huh?
One more round 3.
Round 3, fight! I just rewatched I'm gonna call it Thanksgiving exploitation film, Pilgrim. It came out as part of
The Hulu.
Yes.
Yes, I watched this one too.
Okay, yeah, it was like the Hulu. Was it Out of the Dark series or Into the Dark, something like
Into the Dark, I
Into the
think.
Dark.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a bunch of Blumhouse movies is what they
There
are.
was some good one. Those were hit or miss when they had all the holiday ones.
Yeah.
That's yep.
Yeah, every month was supposed to be whatever major holiday was that month, and this was the Thanksgiving one for. I think it was for season 2 of it, but I liked it. I liked it a lot, and the new mother is in the family, and she wants to make a good impression for the neighborhood, so she finds this Pilgrim reenactment group and hires them to come and reenact the Thanksgiving for her family and the neighborhood, and things don't go as planned. There is almost a Krampus story angle to it, which I think is interesting. If you watch, you'll know what I mean.
Yeah.
But besides that, it's like there's very little gore. There's not very much on-screen violence. There's some cool blood, but I just liked it for its originality. This Pilgrim reenactment troupe turns out to be a cult, and everything just goes haywire. And for a Thanksgiving exploitation film, or Thanksploitation, we'll go Thanksploitation. Would that work?
Thanksploitation, I like that.
Exploitation.
Yeah.
Thanks for exploitating me.
Yeah, it really hits that sweet spot, And I like the intro, introduction credits, and the outro credits had a grindhouse feel to them, which I always like that faux grindhouse thing.
Yeah,
carried that through the actual movie, I would have liked it more. But as it is, I'd still give it like a 3.5, 4, just because of its originality, having a really unique take on a horror movie that takes place on Thanksgiving.
Yeah, we need more of them, you know?
I agree.
There's
Yeah.
not a lot of Thanksgiving horror movies. Wasn't Eli Roth supposed to actually make a feature length out of that one, the trailer he made for Grindhouse?
Yes. There have been rumors about that forever, and then it just never really happens. That I
If
would
you,
love to see because I think that's one of my favorite faux trailers in
yeah,
that experience. That
He's got a shark finning documentary out right now.
a
what?
what?
Yeah. It's his first documentary he's ever made, but he's like hunting down people that are killing sharks for their fins, like finning.
That's crazy.
Wait, is he following people that are hunting them, or Eli Roth himself?
Oh, he's on the boats that are following. Like I always see the preview. I haven't watched any, but I'm kind of interested. I love me some Eli Roth.
So they're like trying to like curtail the finners.
Yeah, the people kill.
Oh,
From what I gathered from the preview, I think it's on. I want to say Paramount Plus. I
okay,
could be wrong.
that's
Yeah, I'm
exciting.
not gonna lie. Eli is kind of hit or miss with me. Like I
Yeah.
really loved Cabin Fever. Knock Knock really sucked.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah. He's been doing some Discovery Plus things too,
I did
like
not
some
know.
like haunted stories and stuff.
Okay,
Yeah.
he did do a series on Shudder
yeah,
called The History of Horror that was
I
really
love
cool.
that.
yeah. I
Yeah,
was
I
surprised how good that was.
that is
And
very good.
there's actually an accompanying podcast that you can listen to with it because they had to cut the interviews down to fit into like an hour-long episode, but most of them are like 2.5 hours they filmed with these people, and the podcast is the uncut
Oh, okay,
full interviews, so that's definitely worth checking out too.
nice.
Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
thanks, exploitation.
Oh, well, I guess I got a Black Friday exploitation
Interesting.
for my next movie. My next movie is Black Friday 2022. You can watch it on Stars. It is starring Devin Sawa and Bruce Campbell. This one
Okay.
is pretty fucking straight to the point. Like opening scene, you see a like it looks like a comet hitting and some weird shit goes down. You instantly know, oh fuck, there's some alien shit that happens. Then they cut to the toy store where it's Black Friday and all the employees are getting ready, and then all hell breaks loose because whatever was in that fucking spaceship alien has turned all the shoppers into like crazy parasite ridden monsters. So basically the people shopping in the store are trying to survive, and that's the movie. But it's a good time, you know, it's a horror comedy. The monsters in it I really enjoyed. They reminded me of like the demons from Demon Knight, like that style. It wasn't like
Okay.
overly CGI, you know, there was like people in like fucking crazy creepy costumes. I liked that about it. It's a fun one, just all around fun. I mean, I'm not gonna say it was amazing. It definitely wasn't bad. It's a good watch. It's funny. It's got its funny parts. It's gory as fuck, and it's perfect for Black Friday. But
Yeah,
yeah,
I've never seen a Black Friday themed horror movie, and I
yeah,
think they pulled it off really well using that Night of the Creeps sort of story arc.
yeah. You're right. Yeah,
Aliens turning people into zombie killing machines, cannibalistic killing machines. Um,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was great humor. Bruce Campbell always delivers.
Always. Devin Sawa made me realize how old I'm getting. No offense to him, but I'm like, good lord. You know, he was also a childhood crush of mine at one point. So I'm like, oh, that's Devin Sawa? Because I was looking for him and it took a couple minutes for me to you know. Although he was just recently in that one with John Travolta, where John Travolta fanatic,
Oh,
that
the
crazy
Fanatic.
Yeah,
yeah.
I actually love that one.
That movie. Oh my god. All right, so in this all right, first off, that's written and directed by Fred Durst.
Oh
So
yeah, I forgot about that.
second, like Travolta plays like a special needs guy, but the very first fucking line in this movie is him walking into a store, walking up to the guy like, I gotta take a poop.
Yeah.
First line in the whole fucking movie.
But
Fanatic
yeah,
is not a good movie, but it's definitely worth watching once because it is fucking bizarre. And just to know that they're like, Fred Durst, you can make a movie. What you gonna do? And it's like, all right, give me John Travolta. I'm gonna give him a mullet and Down syndrome and a Hawaiian shirt. You know what I'm saying?
That was entertaining, though.
Devin Sabo was in the Devil's Candy, which was a really kick-ass
Oh
movie.
yeah, I fucking loved that movie. You're right, but yeah, I mentioned that because other than that, I haven't really seen him since Idle Hands, maybe. You know?
No, he's been like if you watch the Masters of Horror, he was in the Don Cascarelli one called Incident on and Off a Mountain Road.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Where he's like a crazy survival junkie who like do things like he's like a doomsday prepper and he's getting his girlfriend like ready for the apocalypse. And then I think he ends up like dying or something, but she ends up getting like attacked by like almost a Jeepers Creepers type phantom. And all the training he gave her ends up like saving her ass or whatever. It was a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah, wasn't the creature like Moonface or something?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
But yeah, man,
it's been a number of years. I need to polish those off. They're streaming some. Oh, they're on Tubi. All the Masters of Horror are on Tubi.
nice.
But those were hit or miss, but the ones that hit really hit. You know.
But Black Friday, thoroughly enjoyed it.
Yeah. I'd watch it again next year. Like I could see this going into my like regular cycle of holiday movies.
Absolutely,
This was a good one for sure.
I was happy with my $8.99 purchase, finding it on Blu-ray at Best Buy. So
Oh, nice! Hell yeah, hell yeah.
I love when you go into Best Buy and they have that just bin of loose movies, and they're all like dirt cheap, and you just start digging in there, and every once in a while you find a gem.
Fuck yeah, I like Dollar Tree for that too. Actually,
Yeah, Dollar Tree is real good for that.
Yeah, this Stars has a thing right now where it's I think $1.99 a month for a year if you sign up. So that's what I'm doing. That's how I watch this. But,
cool.
Yep.
Right on.
Yep. And
all right,
I'm done.
My last one's not like super obscure. I'm not even sure it's 100% a horror movie. I consider it a horror movie, like the same way that Cujo or Jaws is. I watched Beast, the new Idris.
Oh yeah.
Oh, the
it's
lion
basically
one?
Cujo with lions.
Okay.
He's like a recently he recently lost his wife and he's trying to reconnect with his daughters. So he takes them on like kind of like a jungle safari thing to go see lions. And his friend like works with lions, like wild lions, and so he meets up with his friend and they're gonna go out and like check out these lions. Well, it turns out there's these poachers in the area that have been killing off the lions' families, and so you have like this disgruntled ass giant lion out there. The safari guy, the expert, ends up getting killed, and they're stuck in a car with this giant fucking lion, like attacking the car randomly, and like it's them trying to survive. They're like out in the middle of nowhere in Africa, like way out in the bush. They got no food, they got no way of getting back, and it's how this family survives with this giant lion constantly attacking them and these poachers around and shit like that. I mean, for popcorn flick, it wasn't bad at all. Like it really flew by. There was some crazy gore in this one, like they disembodiments and people getting ripped to shreds and all that by the lion. It was fun, man. It's not anything I probably will ever watch again. But it was like it was a solid 3 movie. Like it was a good little creature feature. So I'm not gonna say a lot about it, but yeah, Beast. And also, I just finished the Teddy Hart documentary, and that was almost a fucking horror movie in itself. Holy shit!
What?
Yeah, I don't know.
They put up a documentary on Teddy Hart on Peacock this week called "Dangerous Breed." You guys know who Teddy Hart is, right?
Well, is that the guy that like John Wayne Murdoch kicked out of the show?
Yes.
Okay, I actually don't know who he is. I just know that he's very well hated. He's a
professional wrestler who is a 3rd generation member of the Hart family. So like Bret, Owen, all those. He was the youngest guy to ever get signed to WWE. Also, the youngest guy to ever get fired from WWE. He's fucking out of his mind. he's got like crazy groomed facial hair. He trains and has like hundreds of Persian show cats. But this goes into his history with being like horrible with women. But around 2016, he went down to Florida with his girlfriend from Canada, and no one's ever seen her again. And that was 5 fucking years ago. So it like goes into that and like how he's not being forthright of what happened to her. I don't fucking know what happened to her and all that shit too. So I mean,
I love this true crime shit.
It's pretty fucked up. It's only 3 episodes. I watched them all today when I got off work before we did this, just because I was so gripped by it. But also, I've been fascinated by Teddy Hart for a very long time because he's such a fucking weirdo. Like the way this guy dresses, the way he acts, everything about him is fucking bonkers. And
like
for a while there,
he like
he
a
had
Tiger
this,
King?
like YouTube channel with his girlfriend at the time, Maria Manic, who was at the time another wrestler who has since from Teddy Hart completely dipped off the face of the fucking earth. But yeah, like it all became like so fucking fascinating. The dude is such a fuck up that there's literally a Twitter page called "Is Teddy Hart in Jail?" and they post every day, not in jail, not in jail, in jail. You know, like he's in and out so much.
Wow.
Yeah, usually if somebody is not well liked in the wrestling or indie wrestling scene, I just assume that they're a horrible person, and I don't really dig any further. I'm just like, yeah, that's good enough for me. John Wayne Murdoch doesn't like you. I don't like you.
Yeah, absolutely. It was John Wayne Murdoch and Justin Kyle that took care of him.
Yeah.
It was at a Mania weekend show.
Like a year ago, I think.
I think it was like 2 years ago now. It definitely wasn't last year. I think it was the year before.
Gotcha.
So yeah, anybody got anything else? Are we talking Blood Rage?
I think we're talking Blood Rage now.
All right, we're gonna spoil the shit out of this movie. So if you haven't seen it yet, you don't want to spoil. Go watch it and come back. But come back.
It's on Tubi.
It's on Tubi.
Mm-hmm. Everything.
And it's a great transfer because it's the Arrow re-release transfer that's on Tubi.
And now for our feature presentation.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah. It even has like the Arrow cover, like and everything.
Oh, that's cool.
So yeah, we're gonna strap on our roller skates and disco dance into Spoiler Town here.
Or if you want to spend the money and get a physical copy, Arrow releases are 50% off right now at Barnes and Noble.
Oh shit!
I might honestly, after we're done with this, I enjoyed this movie so much, I'll probably end up jumping on there and getting a copy.
Yeah, I actually really did like this movie, and I'm surprised that I've never seen it before.
It's so it's so bonkers, and
yeah,
let's just dive in. Let's get
all right. So the very first scene when this shit plays out, I was like, all right, I'm fucking in.
Yeah,
super in, because you got these 2 twin boys.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's not even the first scene, though.
That's
the first scene has a cameo of Ted Raimi, brother of Sam Raimi, hanging out in a bathroom.
Oh yeah, with the condoms.
Yeah. Like that's where I'm already sold. Is freaking Ted Raimi selling condoms in a men's room at a drive. Yeah.
I like how he has the one thing open and it's got all the condoms there, and the guy points it out, and he's got another pocket with that condom. So this is the display on this side.
Yeah, like it's so shady.
You don't sell your customers the display unit.
Yeah.
It's just funny. It all takes place inside his vest. Like, here's the storage. Here's the display.
I'm not gonna lie. I really love Ted Raimi in most things.
Yeah.
Like we'd already talked about it on the show before, but fucking Skinner, holy shit!
If he shows up in a movie, that movie immediately gets better.
He gets a star alone in ratings of any movie he's in.
Right. Absolutely. I met him randomly walking down the street once in Chicago. I was just like, Raimi? And he turns to me, he's like, that's me. And I'm like, okay. We talked for like a half an hour.
That's awesome.
Yeah, he's supposedly like a really genuinely sweet, like approachable human being.
Yes. And thankfully that was the case, or else he'd probably been like, what do you want, douchebag? But he wasn't. He was like, let's talk about shit.
You probably hit him with some movies that no one brings up to him, like either.
and he was just in town because he was doing like a theatrical production of some like Shakespeare. I think it was like a Shakespearean play or something. And
That's awesome.
yeah,
Hell yeah.
His movie career is there. He has a lot of fucking credits, man.
oh yeah,
More than you would think. Like he's got like 100 credits.
yeah.
Well,
So
Let's
yeah,
get back to okay. You were saying the first scene, the twins.
the first off, I really like the angle they ended up going with this twins thing.
yeah,
Because
yeah,
it
yeah.
really pays off in the final gut punch of a scene too.
Yeah.
Or the final scene in the movie. But you got two twin brothers, and they're at the drive-in, and they walk up on a couple having the most awkward sex.
Yeah, their
ever.
mom's making out in the front seat though, and they're like, "Oh, she's at it again," and they take that moment to sneak off. You know?
And they end up hatching the dude that's fucking this broad in the face. And she's like holding his head up at one point so he can keep hatching him.
Yeah.
But it had such crazy fucking gore right off the bat. I was like, all right, this is gonna be killer.
Right off the rip. Yep.
And it was a bloodbath the entire time. Like it pulled no punches on the gore at all.
Yeah, it was a nonstop gore fest. But what I liked was like the campy dialogue too.
Mhm.
You know, almost every line was laughable, and
Yeah.
and
That's no cranberry sauce.
that's not cranberry sauce.
Oh my god, they said that shit like 5 times.
He did.
At least 5 times. Why isn't there merch everywhere? Why isn't there Blood Rage merch everywhere with a picture of was it Tyler, Toby, something like that? And it
Toby and Terry, or
Yes.
Todd and Terry.
Todd and Terry, yeah.
He
Yeah.
should be holding the knife. I think it was a knife at the time, and he's like licking the blood off of it, and he's like, "That's not cranberry sauce. That needs to be a shirt."
Yeah. We can make that happen.
Right?
We need to make that happen.
Talk later.
You just have real vial up the top and just him down there licking his finger. That ain't cranberry sauce.
That's happening. All right. Anyway.
The guy who plays the twins in it, he reminds me Germ, have you seen Vicious Fun?
Yes,
He reminds me of the killer from the one blonde killer from Vicious Fun, the main one.
Oh, okay, yeah, sort of, kind of. Yeah, I can see
They
that.
even look alike. Like same blonde haircut. The guy in Vicious Fun was a little more charismatic.
Yes.
Vicious Fun was a fun movie too, but yeah. Was that him?
No, because this is an 80s movie.
Oh,
Vicious
yeah, this
Fun
is
came
like
out.
88, wasn't it?
Yeah, the dude that played the twins in Blood Rage has to be like in his 50s right now. It'd be way too old.
Well, I was thinking, yeah, never mind. I'm an idiot. Anyway, go on.
Well, at least you realize it, Kelly.
I have my moment.
But the cool so from then they end up locking up the wrong brother because they're twins, and they think that the psychotic twin frames the good twin as the killer. They lock him up as a mental case, and the psychopathic one gets to go free. So the way they set this up is it's over Thanksgiving, and the brother that is in the mental asylum breaks out, and they're like, "Wow, he's gonna come and start killing everybody."
Yeah.
But instead, the psychotic brother's like, "I get to kill all these people and blame it on my brother."
Hell yeah, basically exactly what happens.
That's exactly what happens.
Yeah.
It's really fucking good too.
Mm-hmm.
And
Like I don't
just
know how I
he kills
never seen
everybody. He kills everybody. You know,
Yeah.
It doesn't matter who you are.
Like the people looking for him that were from the institution, he cuts that bitch in half,
Yes.
you know?
and that shit was fucking nuts.
It was nuts. This is the first 20 minutes of the movie, too, when he cuts her in half.
And the same guy that was locked up is trying to like put her back together at one point.
Yeah. Because she's the only one who believed him that it was never him killing in the first place.
Brilliant. You know, I tend to throw around the word masterpiece when it comes to schlocky movies, but this one, is a masterpiece. I mean, if you think about a Thanksgiving exploitation movie, this should be at the top of your list.
Yeah.
There's no way around it, because between the campy dialogue, all the one-liners that you can share with your friends, the great gore, the story arc or the angle that is so indicatively 80s, the evil twin that you rarely see that, and then you rarely see it where the evil twin set up the good twin to get locked up for 10 years. And then when the good twin gets out, the evil twin just says, fuck it, and kills everybody.
Oh, shit, this is my chance. I've been waiting for this.
He knew he could he knew he could set his brother up and get away with it, and that's exactly what he tries to do.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And then the end, I'm not going to say anymore, but yeah.
We can spoil it. We're in spoiler town.
Right. Okay, all right. The end, when the mom gets upset that the insane brother gets upset that the insane brother is no longer with her.
Well, she didn't realize that when she shot the one brother,
right?
Which one she actually shot. She thought, and then the son's hugging the mom, and she calls him the wrong name. He's like, "I'm not." Which one was the bad one? I'm not Todd.
Terry was the bad one. Todd was the one.
Like, I'm not Terry. I'm Todd. And then it fucks her all the way up, and then she kills herself.
Yes.
Oh, that's fucked up. Yeah, I know.
That was the bleakest fucking ending. That poor son of a bitch twin.
Dude, right? He didn't even kill anybody to begin with. He's locked up for years. He tries to go home and just try to, but his brother starts fucking psycho killing everybody again.
Right. Like, she found a guy that owned, the rental compound. They were getting along. Everything's going great. There's some girl that's interested in him. Everything, but fuck it. My brother that I set up is getting out. Why don't I just kill everybody? You're gonna ruin everything for everybody just because. Fuck it.
What was the guy? That's not cranberry. So what was the guy's name? He said that 5 fucking times too.
Terry.
No, not Terry. But he said it about. Oh, that's not cranberry sauce, Archie. And then he kills him. He says that a couple times.
Doesn't the mom say it at one point too?
I think so.
I know that at least one other character says it.
They say it 4 or 5 fucking times.
Yeah, I was laughing at it by the end. I was like, how many times are they going to use that line? But yeah, it's great. Perfect line. We're making something out of that too.
Yeah, I don't know how this one flew under my radar. Especially with my penchant for 80s splatter flicks, and this one was a really fucking well done one. It was a good fucking movie. It was well paced. The special effects were great.
Mm-hmm.
It was 85 minutes,
something like that. Yeah, it was. I think an hour and 20 something.
Compact film.
Yeah, and
what it had to do and get out of there.
Yep.
And it had that cool hook with the twins. That's something I hadn't seen in a slasher movie that I thought was pretty fucking smart.
Yeah.
And then it had that real kick you in the teeth ending.
Yeah.
And good 80s gore throughout the entire thing, you know?
And there was some good fucking laughs in it too. When the girl's trying to get away from him and she hides in the bathroom and the 2 people are dead in the sauna and he goes in there and he opens up the sauna. He's like, oh yeah, how you guys doing? Just he had forgot that he murdered them.
Yeah.
So many great one-liners.
There was.
Yeah.
This was a fun one.
Super good one. I really like this one.
Yeah, so
definitely a Thanksgiving classic. Thanksgiving exploitation classic.
This will be watched every year by me.
Absolutely.
Well, what was funny is that last week when we were recording the episode on bloody muscle bodybuilder in hell, I had suggested this, and you said that you guys had already covered it in a previous episode.
I heard that back, and I think I was thinking of something else.
You had to have been maybe Blood Feast. I don't know, but yeah, that's
something.
When you suggested this one, I was like, oh yeah, okay. But I thought that you guys had already talked about it. But I'm glad.
Well, I wanted when I picked this movie, I wanted to do something, for the holiday kind of themed. I know this is going to come out after Thanksgiving, but it's only going to be, like a few days after.
Yeah.
But just something kind of, but the thing is, there's not a lot of Thanksgiving horror,
Right, and not enough good Thanksgiving horror.
Yeah, this is definitely a good Thanksgiving horror
In
movie.
all honesty, I can't stand the Thanksgiving movies. Like,
I
look at them like
one.
Hobo with
I've
a
never
Shotgun,
seen
where it's just like exploitation, but it's not as fun as it thinks it is.
Yeah, Hobo with a Shotgun didn't do it for me.
Really?
Everyone talks about how great that movie was. I thought it was awful, and I love
I wasn't a
Rutger
fan.
Hauer.
I loved it.
Did you?
Did you?
Yeah, I'm a big fan of that one. Hobo with a Shotgun. But I enjoyed Thanksgiving when I first saw it, and I've never seen the sequels.
Yeah, I haven't seen it. I watched the first Thanksgiving, and I was just like, this is just not me, because it's like, you can, if your jokes work, you can make that into a great movie with still having a shitty looking puppet. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, absolutely.
But it felt just like edgy Chad humor to me. Like, it felt like it was just trying too hard to be shocking, as opposed to having like its own voice and something kind of like fun. Like, for a movie like that, it has to have a fun element to it, like Basket Case. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, Basket Case is kind of in the same vein. They made a cheap puppet and they made a fucking movie about it. But Basket Case had like a voice and identity, where this was just like, we got a name. What are we gonna do? We're just gonna have this bird, and he's gonna talk a bunch of shit and shoot people with a shotgun.
Yeah.
And even in the description of it, I like the description of it more than I liked the movie.
That's legit.
Well, what do you guys give Blood Rage?
I give it a 4.
Yeah.
4, maybe 5, 4.5 even. I think for what it is, the time it came out, I can't believe I've never watched it. Like, I liked it. 4.5. 4.
Yeah, I'm gonna be ordering a copy tonight now that I know there's that sale.
Let
me know how much it is. I might order one too.
I think it's still like $20 because Arrow is kind of expensive.
Yeah, they're $40 movies.
Yeah. And I'm not going to pretend like I've known about this film forever, but it was probably 3 or 4 years ago. Joe Bob Briggs had a Thanksgiving special where he aired this, and that's I first heard about it. And since then, I've watched it every Thanksgiving or around every Thanksgiving, and was happy to buy it on Blu-ray last year about this time.
Hell yeah.
So when you suggested, I was like all in. I was like, let me go revisit this film. And every second of it, from the Ted Raimi cameo to the ultra bleak ending, it is a great film, and if you don't like it, you can't be my friend. I'll give it a 4 for fun, a 4 for gore, and a 4 for the bleak ending.
Absolutely. The ending really took me by surprise, because I thought the mother knew what she was doing.
I don't know. She was kind of
that was a pretty shocking. Like, you're like,
Like, what was up with the scene of the mother like half naked sitting on her ass in the kitchen eating Thanksgiving food off the floor?
Yeah. She's just like in front of the fridge.
They had already showed there's a table 3 feet away.
I feel like we gotta, when you buy the Blu-ray, you gotta watch the extras, because maybe I need to go back and watch the extras too. Maybe that'll explain some of the things, like why she's on the floor, eating Thanksgiving meal off the floor.
I always get really excited for Blu-ray extras. I always watch them all.
Oh,
in fact, that's gonna be part of the motivation if I end up buying this thing, is what do they have for extras on this thing, because this is one of those ones I want to know more about. And Arrow's usually really good at getting like a bunch of extras on there. In fact, I've been really contemplating actually subscribing to the Arrow streaming service,
right?
Because their catalog is so strong. But then I noticed that most of their films are on Tubi. So
that's always a kick in the rubber parts. Is like when you spend the money for the hard copy or the physical media, and then all of a sudden it's streaming for free on Shudder or Tubi or Netflix or whatever, and you're like, but I just spent all that money.
I still like to own the physical media, though. It is always nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a collector. I like having the actual box,
Same.
All right, favorite kill, y'all.
I think it was the chopped in half part. The whole hand, like the whole first couple kills after they were grown up, or after he escapes. Those first couple, like those 3 in a row. were pretty banging, but I gotta go with the where he halved the bitch in half.
Yeah, that one was pretty fucking gnarly. How about you, Germ?
I'm gonna go with the opening hatchet to the couple fucking at the drive-in because it's a really awkward kill, but it sets the tone for the rest of the film.
Yeah,
super awkward.
It is awkward.
I'm actually gonna agree with Rip on this one. That was my favorite too, because like I didn't kind of know what I was getting myself into, and the second that kill happened, I was like, okay, this is that kind of like they're not fucking around in this thing, and that, and like the fact that like, so he's on top of the girl and he's fucking her, and dude starts hitting him in the face with the axe, and he like tries to duck down so he's not going to get hit in the face anymore, and the girl pushes him up and like holds him up to get more.
You're not getting me. You're gonna keep smashing this dude. Where did the kid get the axe?
He pulled it out of somebody else's trunk, or there was that one part where he held it up, but he pulled it out of somewhere. I don't remember. I can picture him holding it up, but yeah, somebody had it driving.
I also liked how the girl he was fucking runs away naked through the entire drive-in, and no one notices at all.
Nobody.
No. There was just somebody screaming, and now a woman is running naked, screaming at the top of their lungs, like, "Hey, keep it down! I'm trying to watch this over here. You over here with your goddamn giant perm fucking up my movie."
So, what do you give this? How many stars do you give this?
Me?
Yeah, you.
I really like this one. I'm gonna give it 4.5.
Look at that.
I really like this one. All right, favorite part of the movie, like your favorite thing with this movie.
For me, it would have to be like the actual Thanksgiving scene where they're sitting around and everything's going nice.
Mm-hmm.
And then she gets the phone call that, dude escaped from the mental institution. And she shares the information with her son.
Yeah.
And, but don't tell anybody because we don't want to ruin the Thanksgiving vibe. First thing he does,
First thing.
By the way, my crazy brother escaped and you get to meet the whole family. Pass the mashed potatoes. I was like, what a dick. She just said, don't ruin the vibe. And he goes and ruins the vibe. And then
I think my favorite thing is like the humor and the cockiness of Terry, like the actual shitty twin.
Yes.
But he is. He's funny. It kind of gives it some funny parts. It makes you laugh at a few parts, like the one-liners, the shit that comes out of his mouth. It kind of makes the movie,
Right. There's a lot of times where you're not sure if the humor is intentional or if it's because of the
It's intentional. Like what my favorite thing is in the movie will kind of prove that, at least in my eyes. My favorite thing was how like sadistically cruel this movie was at times. Like it really kind of shocked me, especially like, and this is a scene where I was like, they knew what they were doing.
Mm-hmm.
When she finds her boyfriend, the mom, and like, remember he like chopped his hand off and like diced him up and has him sitting up in the chair.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And like the phone's ringing and she's like pounding the door, like, why don't you answer the phone? And he's like, just all like ripped to fucking shreds. And then that fucking ending with the mom killing herself because she killed the wrong, what in her eyes was the wrong twin, which was the right twin. She killed the right twin.
She actually killed the crazy one, but she liked the crazy one because she lived with him for so long. Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, the non-crazy one, he was kind of a bitch, kind of annoying.
Yeah, man, I did actually like the crazy one more. Like I said, he was fucking funny at times. That's not crazy.
That was the punchline to the joke.
Yeah.
He was dripping with charisma. Least favorite thing in the movie.
Ooh.
You know what? I got nothing on this one.
Yeah, I don't even know. I can't even think. Yeah,
I think it's so short and so compact. It's hard to pick something that's bad because it almost feels like if there was something bad, they already were like, no, let's take that out. Let's take it out. It's not funny. It's not gory. It's not horror. It's not comedy. So I feel like if there was something bad, it was already taken out.
Yeah, that said, I'm not going to say it was a perfect movie, but it was kind of a perfect movie. It
was fun.
For what it is, it kind of,
Fun will go a long way.
Yep.
So this guy only made one other movie, and it is on Tubi, so I'm probably going to end up watching that ASAP. Made in 1977, so it was like 10 years in between making his two films, called Scalpel.
Oh, shit.
Have either of you guys seen this?
I remember seeing the video box when I was a kid. I don't think I've actually seen the movie, but I remember the video box. Yeah, it definitely rings a bell.
Yeah, it looks interesting. Apparently, it's about a woman who gets in a car accident, and her surgeon does plastic surgery to her face to make her look like the surgeon's dead daughter.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so anybody else got anything to say about Blood Rage before we wrap this whole bitch up?
I think I said what I meant to say.
Go watch Blood Rage.
I said what I said.
No, perfect Thanksgiving exploitation film.
It is.
This one is number one, and number one before was Kristy, and now is this. So, Kristy's very good too, but this is just more up my alley because I'm definitely like an '80s splattered junkie, and this like scratched that itch so well. But with that, I think we're done here, right, guys?
Yep.
Good.
Happy Thanksgiving. Hope you all had good food.
God bless America and send nudes. Ow! Ow!
Woo!